Hey YouTube, welcome back. If you clicked on this video, you know what it's about. Twitch chat is watching live and they do not know what this is about yet. We have some secret information that is about as confirmed as I can get the information to be. So it is unconfirmed, but it matches up with my experience. It matches up with lots of people's experience. It also matches linear regression. And it comes from a data mine. So given those things, let's talk about Glyph of Despair. If you've been on my YouTube channel for a while, you know that a while ago I posted a video saying you can have a guaranteed Glyph of Despair. And that allowed you to deterministically always seal one modifier. What I posited back then was that if you have an Exalted item that has a tier 1 modifier on it, if you use the Glyph of Despair on that tier 1 modifier, it will always succeed. It took me 3 months of trying that in order to get it to fail, but it can fail. So what actually happens is a Glyph of Despair has a 105, but it has a guaranteed % chance to seal if you have 4 modifiers. So take a look at the third paragraph of text that the Glyph of Despair has. It says chance to seal is higher when crafting on affixes of lower tiers, so a tier 1 should be pretty easy to seal, and also is higher for exalted items and items with more affixes. So if you have 4 affixes and an exalted item with a tier 1 modifier, that is the condition where you can always seal something 100% of the time. But what about other modifiers? What about non-exalted items? What about an exalted item that only has 3 modifiers on it? What are all the % chances for that? So today we're going to be talking about all the % chances for that. What you're going to see is it's going to match your expectations. However, now that we have this information, we can make more informed decisions about crafting things in the future. So you're going to see something that basically looks like this. You're going to see something that basically looks like this, where like a tier 1 modifier has a very low chance of failure, or I guess very high chance of success. And then it's going to match up with expectations like this. So if we, let's pull up some more infographics for you. If we pull up some more information, we'll see, we'll basically see this, where item quality is, whether it's like exalted or not, whether it has 4 affixes on it, my data points line up perfectly. So it certainly seems like the information that I'm about to say with or show with you is correct. It really seems like it's correct, and it comes from a data mine. So as much as I would like to write out all the information and show you in Microsoft Paint, what I'm actually going to do instead is share with you in a notepad document here. And we're going to post these one at a time. If you'd like to screen cap this, or if you'd like to look at the description of the video where I will have all this information linked as well, you can do that too. So first things first, let's go cite my resources real quick. If we have a magic item, with 1 affix on it, it's pretty difficult to actually seal these things. So you'll see that I whoops, let's go like this. With 1 affix, you'll see that if it's a tier 1 modifier, the chance is about 52%. So you have about a 52% chance to succeed. I don't know why you would ever try to seal something on a magic item with 1 affix, but these are the numbers, right? So this is not particularly interesting yet, but I will continue to share the information with you. So remember, these percentages just move the decimal over 2 points. So you have a 7% chance of sealing a tier 4 modifier on a magic item that only has 1 affix. Why are you doing that? I have no idea. I'm just here to share the information with you. Slightly more interesting, we'll blow through this until we get to the more interesting stuff. But slightly more interesting is this magic item with 2 affixes. On a tier 1 modifier, it's about a 63% chance of success. And then slightly higher, we see that as we increase the number of affixes, that we also increase the chance of success on that tier 1 modifier. And then instead of a 7% chance, now we have a 9% chance of sealing a tier 4 modifier. And it's only going to go up from there. So we're not quite at exalted items yet. So let's keep breezing quickly. For the next bit here, let's talk about a rare item that has 3 affixes on it. Once again, I don't know why you would use a Glyph of Despair on this. I would not recommend using a Glyph of Despair on anything except for an exalted item. But here are the numbers that you can look at. So for a tier 1 affix on your rare item with 3 affixes, 73% chance, which goes to 48 for a tier 2. Tier 3 modifier has about a quarter chance, and tier 4 modifier has about a 10.5% chance here. So, all right, let's move on to the next one. And this is slightly more interesting. We're getting to the spicy bit, because this is a rare item with 4 affixes. You can see that it's an 84% chance of sealing a tier 1 modifier. Up from there, we have 55, then 27, and then 12% chance at a tier 4. So we're finally breaking into those double digits with the 10.5 and the 12 here. But why this is interesting, well, let's amend this. It's also applying to an exalted item with 2 affixes on it. So you'd like to have 3 or 4, hopefully 4, affixes on any item that you're going to try to use a Glyph of Despair on, and you also hopefully are using an exalted item. So once again, both cases here, the rare item with 4 affixes, maybe you want to do this, but I wouldn't, unless you have like so many Glyphs of Despair. But I basically only use them on a exalted item, so this is where my brain starts to pay attention. 2 affixes, this is what you're looking at so far. The next one here, let's take a look at a exalted item with 3 affixes on it. We're getting really close, and this modifier is particularly interesting to me. This is what I thought was 100% chance. It took me 3 months in order to have personal experience where I could disprove this. This is a 94.5% chance of sealing a tier 1 modifier on an exalted item that has 3 affixes. Because I thought 3 affixes and 4 affixes were about the same. So I thought that this was always guaranteed. It is not guaranteed. You can fail. But if you do it a second time, all of a sudden you have a 62% chance. So between a 94.5 and a 62% chance, it's a pretty good chance there. But we've got some slightly larger numbers beyond that. We've got a 31% chance and a 13.5% chance. So we're getting to the interesting stuff, right? We're getting to like min-maxing. How can I have my exalted item with 4 affixes on it? How can I get, a tier 23 or tier 24 item where instead of tier 21, which would be 6 and then 555, how can I also get like a tier 3 sealed modifier or a tier 4 sealed modifier? Because that's very, very difficult to do. And in your brain, that's difficult to do. But all of a sudden, we have numbers. So this one here, this is the only number, this is the only percent chance that is over 100. So this is your 105% chance. This is your guaranteed Glyph of Despair on a tier 1 modifier on an exalted item that has 4 affixes on it. If you meet those requirements, you have a guaranteed Glyph of Despair, which is like, that's community knowledge. But now we have numbers. Beyond that, we have we've got a nice chance of sealing a tier 2. It's pretty good. It's just above 2 and 3, right? It's just over a 2/3 chance. Yeah, there we go. It's just fine here. Beyond that, we've got we have 2 more pieces of information here. The next one here is a tier 3 modifier, and we had like a 2/3 chance, and this is like a 1/3 chance. So sealing a tier 3 modifier is about a 1 in 3. Sealing a tier 3 modifier is about a 1 in 3. That's not bad. I might gamble that. It's pretty good. You can do it. Now, if you really try to min-max, If you're really trying to min-max, I'll show you this piece of information. This is a tier 4 modifier on an exalted item with 4 affixes. The percent chance. Any guesses? Any guesses? Give me one guess. What's the percent chance? We had the 12%, the 13.5%. You think it goes down? You think it goes down? What? You're crazy. Why would it go down? It doesn't go down. All of these numbers fit a line. It's 15. It's a guaranteed. It's not guaranteed. It is a 15% chance to seal a tier 4 modifier on your exalted item with 4 affixes. It's not impossible. It's you could do this. You could technically do this. There was a question that popped up here in chat. Somebody said, does a tier 6 or tier 7 matter for exalted? Not as far as I can tell. Instead of saying no, which is what I want to say, I'm going to say not as far as I can tell. None of the information that I have makes a distinguishing or distinguishes. None of the information that I have distinguishes between a tier 6 and a tier 7 exalted modifier. So this is technically unconfirmed. It comes from a data mine. It is information that I am allowed to share. It fits a linear graph. It lines up with my own perception of how these sealing chances work, and I'm pretty sure it's right. I'm just pretty sure that this is accurate information. So that's why we're putting it in a video. That's why we are sharing this information with you, and that's why we are going to continue to gamble and complain every time that I miss my 2 and 3 or my 1 and 3 chance. Because why can't I just have a Bastion of Honor? I can't believe that I still don't have a Bastion of Honor. I really want to farm a Bastion of Honor. It's just like, I feel like by this point,